Okay, welcome back to e-business in tourism lectures. On this lecture, we are going to go through mobile devices and what is their meaning for tourism businesses and organizations. And we're going to start with this really nice little video that sets the tone for these lectures.
We're heading to Lake Tahoe. It'll be a last minute, but I'm going to book that hotel in free fall.
Reservation for Mr. J.T. Holmes, please.
Woo! Landing was a bit of a doozy.
Hold, please. Let me check our system. Get that a reservation for Mr. Holmes.
Oh, we got it. No way, we got it.
Oh,
yeah!
I stuck that.
I nailed it.
Thank you, hotels.com. Not gonna watch Steve Griffin's skydive. Not yet, at least. But I think this is just fantastic how our online presence is not anymore dependent on where we are, especially when you can book a hotel room while you are falling down from an airplane. I think that's quite cool. And these little devices, these smartphones, allow us to do that. These are fantastic inventions that have been developing quite rapidly during the past few years. So now we are talking about two different things here in this lecture. We are focusing on mobile devices, which are on the left side of the framework, but we are also talking a little bit about mobile applications, and especially use of mobile applications, not just the company's own mobile application, but the possibilities that all the other mobile applications available for these devices bring up to tourism businesses. This is quite good picture. It's from the Popo elections in 2005, when the previous Pope was elected. There's one mobile phone I think I can see from that picture. In 2013, completely different thing. So this just shows how much our society, our tourism experiences, our behavior has changed just in 10 years. That's less than 10 years, but it's 2016 now, so I think the situation is even worse now, or at least more developed. This was a nice news that an old woman is seen to look at the real world, and it was a newsworthy topic. Whenever all the others are on their mobile phones, this lady just looks at and enjoys the atmosphere, enjoys the event, enjoys what she is seeing. And this is a discussion that, especially in tourism literature, is prevalent, that do these mobile devices actually stop us from experiencing the destination as it should be experienced, or do they actually bring more to the tourism experience than what it would be without these devices? And that's one interesting question to think about. That is our experience better or worse because of these devices? We at least use them quite a lot, so that would suggest that it should be better. We have this Maslow's hierarchy of need, from psychological to safety, belonging, love, self-esteem, and self-actualization. But we have two new levels behind, even below the basic physiological needs, which are Wi-Fi and battery. And if one of these is not available for us, we are going to be really angry. This is the brief history of mobile devices, starting from this huge, well, there's the first Nokia phones are missing from this picture, but this is, in any case, quite good picture to show how these have developed during the past 20 or 25 years. Well, I remember the time when smaller was always better. We wanted smaller and smaller phones because we didn't want to carry them around or didn't want them to weigh as much as the previous one. But then when basically Apple made the first really working popular touch screen smartphone, the screen sizes started to increase, and now we have already 6-inch smartphones, which are quite huge devices. Basically, this was also the start when really the internet and mobile applications started coming to these devices, and you could really surf the internet and watch videos and multimedia content from these phones that we started preferring. That now we actually need a bigger screen. Now we actually need a bigger phone to better see all this content that we are using these phones to browse through. Let's see if this works. How our just demonstrate how much functionality these devices have in them. There's so many different things that you can do with them. I think it's just fantastic. It's been quite constant growth with these mobile devices for a very long time. This can be seen, for example, not just by the units sold, how many smartphones are sold, but also by how much, for example, mobile transactions have been growing. From 2015 to 2018, the growth is phenomenal, more than 10 times. Year-on-year growth around 100, 200, 130%, huge growth. On global level, it's expected that by Gartner that in 2017 global mobile payment transaction volume will be around 700 billion United States dollars. That's huge amount of money that these devices are capable of transferring. And for example, PayPal is really popular actor in digital wallet, but also Google has its own mobile wallet system. Samsung has its own. Apple has its own, and not talk about Chinese options like WeChat, which is like when Chinese people come to Europe, this is like middle age for them, because we don't have that much possibilities to pay with mobile phones, whereas in China that's basically every day and taken for granted. So there's still a lot of development going on, especially regarding mobile payments, and it's been envisioned that basically there comes a time the only thing you need when you leave home is your mobile phone. So you can put your keys, you can open the doors with your mobile phone, you can pay all the bills, you don't need wallet, you have all the cards, all your personal information, belongings, everything here in your mobile phone. Mobile phones, one of the big things that's now we've been discussing about mobile phones and how they can improve the destination experience for quite a long time, and especially we've been talking about augmented reality that you can watch through the
This is Tokyo. How could you ever find a 35-year-old aquarium here? There are so many thousands of things to do. Even worse, the aquarium is almost a kilometer from the station. But that was our job. We had to attract the visitors to the aquarium and make sure they could find it. Idea! Let penguins bring people to the aquarium. So we created GPS penguins. By using AR, GPS penguins will show you the way to the aquarium. So cute! People can't help but to follow them. What an amazing sense of road direction. We human beings are magically drawn to cute animals. Human instincts meet new technology. It was a world first. Motion capture technology applied to penguins. Our GPS penguins walk exactly like real penguins. Genuine penguin movement.
手をこう左右に振って重心取りながら歩くんですけども、科学的にデジタルでうまくこれで証明されたことになりますね。
Result: mobile phones change boring point-to-point travel into entertainment. Just follow the penguins. You won't notice other distractions. You'll arrive at the aquarium before you know it. Look, people continue coming today with this app. GPS penguins were a hot topic in many media. Penguins brought not only people, but also smiles.
So we've been discussing a lot about augmented reality and its possibilities for tourism, especially make boring parts of tourism less boring. But I still find it funny that you don't see tourists walking around cities just looking at augmented reality with their mobile phones. They're using it quite a lot for various purposes, but I don't think that augmented reality is not yet one of those that really is on top of our list when we are thinking about how mobile phones are changing tourism experience or affecting travel behavior. There are, of course, some fantastic applications and possibilities that are being tested and studied at this moment, but the business purpose is still quite limited. But that was a good example of a good application that you could make. And where mobile phones are going is that at some point most of the global online transactions are made with mobile devices. When our credit cards are being stored into these devices and you can use them to pay your bills, then basically the amount of transactions is increasing quite fast, as we already saw. What can you use mobile devices during in travel and tourism? There is information search, so you can search for information with your mobile devices. You can get context-specific information. For example, that your mobile devices know where you are at this moment and can provide more accurate information because of that. They also know who you are, so they can provide information also based on that which type of food you like, which type of movies you like, which type of attractions you would like to see. They can personalize your tourism experience and your information search. They can also be used socially to keep in touch with friends, connect with locals, for example. Trip management, of course. We saw the video about Google Trip service. And there's someone testing if everything is working in the chat. Yes, everything is working. Good. We saw the Google Trip application yesterday, which is definitely one of these very powerful trip management softwares, applications that you can use. Translating, real-time translations is becoming a huge thing. I personally think that these mobile devices allow us to overcome language barriers in very nearby future. Buying, of course, is one of those things. We already saw the stats, how much it's increasing. Gamification, making traditional things more game-like. We can add gamification elements such as points and achievements and challenges and such to tourism experience. And one simple experience example of this is, for example, geocaching, which is quite old thing. You could also give Pokemon Go as an example of gamification with these mobile devices. It was quite successful for a very short period of time, but it was a good example of what are the possibilities of these mobile devices. Augmented reality, as we saw before, and of course reminiscence. These devices can store so much information for us. They can store our videos, ideas, texts, everything we did during a trip, and we can go back and look at them and of course post them to social media already during the trip, but also after the trip. There are some important topics such as responsive websites, possibility to create content everywhere, employee empowerment, and own applications, and of course combined with cloud power, these mobile devices are really powerful, and we're going to go through each and every one of these next. So what is a responsive website? It is a website that works on different devices. No matter what the resolution, what the operating system is, you will be able to find same information or at least similar kind of information that's designed just for that resolution, that device, that screen type. And there are a huge number of responsive tests and tools that you can use to study how your websites look in different devices, for example, Google, responsivtest.net, browserstack.com, and so on. But this is something that we are going to have a little competition now. You have to go to address testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com. I'm going to write it in chat. Testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com. And we're going to have small competition. Who can find the best? Who can find the website that gets the best scores in this test? So this basically works that you just enter the website address here in this place and press test now, and it will give you answers. I'm gonna go with retkipaikka.fi. Let's see what we are going to find out. This is a Finnish nature tourism website. Let's see how good scores they get. Okay, mobile friendly 67, mobile speed 58, desktop speed 77. Not that huge. Can someone find a website that gets better results? On average, I think that is something like around 65, 70 points. Can someone find a website which gets good grades on all of these measurements: mobile friendliness, mobile speed, desktop speed. Google.com. Let's see what Google.com gets. I think that's the easy solution. There's not that much content on this website. And try to find a tourism website. Try to find a tourism website that gets better scores. This is funny that they don't get mobile friendliness, only 79. But at least it's a fast website, fastest that you can find. But can you find a tourism website? Let's go. Let's test hotels.com. Let's see what it gets. This is a nice stats that Google is providing us with all at the same time that it's analyzing the websites. Users spend 177 minutes on their mobile phones per day. And Google has a lot of data. Google has tremendously huge data sets about our behavior, our mobile behavior, our purchasing behavior, about everything. Hotels.com is taking too long to analyze, so we're not going to go with that. How about visitfinland.com? This would be interesting. Oh, okay. Tina says that TripAdvisor gets 99 out of 100 in mobile friendliness. That's fantastic. Visit Finland also gets 99 out of 100 in mobile friendliness, which is quite well. They have speed is not that good because they have a lot of pictures, a lot of moving pictures, videos, and so on. But that's an excellent score on mobile friendliness. Great job. Visit Finland. Momondo got 100, says Suvi. That's fantastic results. $98. Yeah, great job, Momondo. Of course, mobile speed, desktop speed, not that great. Also, Sarah has found that eDreams also get 100 out of 100. Great. So there, it is possible to get to be that mobile friendly, and that's definitely something that all the businesses should really reach for. This is an important thing. Speed depends basically quite a lot on who your customers is. Yeah, Finnair, Juha found Finnair. Their mobile friendliness is also 100 out of 100, but others 64 and 82. But that's great results also for Finnair, because you have to make a decision about the speed, because the more multimedia you put on the website, the slower it becomes. We see that from the Google.com that it's really fast. Speed is top 100% score, but there's not much going on the website. So it's a trade-off. And the smartphones are like the modern multi-tool. And this is especially important if you have employees working with social media, working with technology, working with marketing, you have to make sure that their tools are in good shape, that their mobile phones are capable of supporting their jobs and their marketing and their job description. And if you would think someone who is building a house, for example, making groundwork for a house, it would be much more beneficial to give him a good caterpillar than just a shovel. So the same is with mobile phones. It's a modern multi-tool, definitely. There's so much that you can do with these devices if you know what to do. For example, content creation and curation everywhere. So basically, even if you are on a beach in Spain, in Thailand, you can be able to manage your company's social media presence from there in real time with these mobile devices. You can answer the questions your followers have, you can post new messages and so on. And yesterday I encountered news about a firm, I cannot remember its name, but it sends its employees away 1 month in the darkest time of the year to Thailand to get over the Finnish Kaamos, or the darkest time of the year, which is quite funny because this modern technology allow us to do many of the previous jobs that we had in places and times that would not have been possible before. For example, from Thailand, it's becoming a popular lifestyle to people to work from abroad, for example. I previously talked about the importance of customer insight and customer knowledge that you can receive from these mobile devices, and this Experience Fellow is just one of the softwares and applications that you can
Personal
use.
experiences don't fit into categories of surveys. What matters are real stories from real people. Experience Fellow is a free mobile app that allows you to give valuable feedback on the go by documenting and evaluating your experience at any moment you think is important. Imagine you're going on a business trip. Experience Fellow lets you easily document your flight experience. That meal tasted pretty bland. You can also document how you experience finding the hotel. Oh, that was easy. Taxi! Use your time in the queue to evaluate the check-in. Check-in took way too long. Did you find your room quickly? That was disappointing. Give each situation a title and evaluate how you feel in this moment. Use text, photos or videos to document all positive, neutral or negative aspects. Adding and evaluating can be done offline, preventing expensive roaming costs abroad. You can review and edit your evaluations at any time. Your data will be analyzed and will give valuable insights for improvement and innovation. With Experience Fellow, you can give valuable feedback based on real experiences. Experience Fellow. Your experience matters.
So this is just one possible application that tourism businesses can use with mobile devices to collect information about their customers' experience. And I think this is fantastic possibility for companies to get the knowledge that they can use, get the data that they can use. And this is becoming huge in tourism. Our mobile phones are constantly sending information where we are to carriers that provide us with the internet connection and the phone connection that we have in our mobile phones. These carriers are able to track the movement of each of these devices and where they are going, where they are coming from, and so on. And this is an example of this kind of, and this is definitely a big data. And this is an example from Switzerland, I think, yes, Swisscom data, that shows how German, French, Italian, and Swiss visitors are moving around the country. You can see that French visitors are on the west side of the country, Germans on the north side, Italians on the south side, and Swiss are in the middle of the country. And you can see which destinations they go to and which sites they visit and how they move within the country and so on. You can get very detailed data. and so on. Juha asks that how to reward that business traveler for using so much time to give feedback. That's a good question, and you can reward them, for example, with a free night or free meal or something like that if they use that kind of Experience Fellow software, for example. So, of course, you have to... or there are also people who would be interested in using the device only because they want to help the company. But of course, if you want to, if you can order some kind of reward for using that, you don't need that much participant in using Experience Fellow, for example, to get some kind of useful data. So it wouldn't be too expensive to reward them for example, with a meal in hotel restaurants. But this kind of big data is becoming really popular and really important. This is also from the same Swisscom dataset that shows how morning commuting traffic, if I remember correctly, is moving in, was it Geneva maybe, or I think it was in Geneva, that you can see from the tail of each of these dots is one person moving around in the city, and you can see their speed, and which basically calculate are they using bikes or are they using trains or buses or walking or whatever, and track these people quite in quite detailed way. And I had the idea that how about if a hotel would offer this kind of GoPro cameras for its guests, and apparently Marriott already did it.
For the rest of my life, I don't know what it is. You don't even gotta talk for the rest of the night. I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear.
So it is all about businesses thinking how can they get people to share more about their trip. The more a person shares about his trip, videos, pictures, and experiences, the more visibility a destination gets. And the more visibility a destination gets, the more customers they are coming to the destination and also staying, for example, at the Marriott hotel chain. And it's indeed redefining our customer experience in a way that why we are participating in certain activities, it's probably there's new kind of motivations in play that are not just because I enjoy it, but also because I want to show I did this to my friends and family and social media followers. If you have a lot of followers in social media, you want to give a certain kind of image of yourself. When you are looking at social media feeds and updates, there's not that many like negative or bad news. People tend to give a really positive image of themselves in these services, and of course this also reflects on what they want to do in their holiday. They want to provide this picture of perfect holiday that they are on. Sometimes there are pictures of even bad weather and bad experiences, but most people want to show how much fun they have had and what they have done and so on. Google Translate will redefine the way we travel, and I'm
Rule number 2, you gotta stick with it.
Google Translate, but these kind of translations in any case.
The Google Translate app has been around for a while. If you haven't gotten it yet, it's great for translating language on the fly.
Si vous ne l'avez pas encore compris, il est idéal pour la langue de la traduction à la volée.
Recently, they incorporated the word lens feature. which translates live text in your environment right on your screen. See? With this new feature, you can live translate French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Russian, and everyone's favorite, Spanish. It's a little jumpy when the text moves, but overall it works very well. According to this Google video, their translation software uses a process called statistical machine translation, which means it translates based on patterns found in large amounts of text. But how did they get close to matching the font and color to look like the original text in the environment? Yeah, I don't know, microchips or something. They're not going to give away their secrets. Regardless of how it works, it does work, and it's very cool. Let's see how it works in the wild. Hey, not bad. Ooh, very cool.
But you definitely get the point, and it's not anymore about just taking pictures or seeing what words mean, but it's starting to move more and more into the conversation part of translation, and the translator softwares are one of the fastest developing fields in technology at the moment, especially because companies are looking new ways people can interact with technology, and this one of the interaction ways is speech. So people should be able just to say these devices what they want to do. And you can have a Google Assistant in these new Google phones, and you have Siri in Apple phones that are designed to understand, well, especially the Google Assistant is designed to understand what is the meaning behind your words, not just the words, but also the meaning behind them. They are not near anywhere perfect yet, but they are getting better and better all the time, which is fantastic. This is another example of Skype translator, and you've probably also used Google Translate in your mobile phone, but there are many actors working in the field
Talking
at this
to people
moment.
all over the world in a different language is now possible with Skype Translator in updated Skype for Windows. First, select your contact, send an instant message, or start chatting straight away using the call and video call buttons. Or you can set up Skype Translator. Click the Settings button. Choose your contact's written language to see translations in the chat, or from the spoken and written list to hear the translations on a call. Then check that the globe icon shows Skype Translator is on. Now you're all set to start chatting. Remember your headphones to ensure you have the most accurate translations possible. As you or your contact speaks, it will be translated in your headphones and the translations will appear on your screen.
Hi, how are you?
Remember to speak clearly and wait for the translation to appear.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Te tengo noticias. Francesca va a tener un bebé.
I've got news for you. Francesca is going to have a baby.
And that's all there is to it.
Yeah. Emma thinks that some of the translations were not correct on the Google Translate video. Definitely not, but that's an actually a bit old video. I think it was from 2015, so that's basically ancient history. Technology has developed quite a lot since then, but it's not anywhere near perfect, but it's getting really, really good. When you think about these kind of Skype translations, would you trust your customer contacts to Skype Translator? Could it be a possibility that you open up a service channel for foreign guests that are interested in your company just by using Skype? You could serve Spanish tourists, you could serve German tourists, you could do everything. This is an existing technology that you can use with Skype Translator to overcome language barriers. It doesn't understand Finnish yet, so and definitely with all these translators, I recommend using English as your own language instead of Finnish, because that just messes it up. QR codes, very old barcode-like thing that's never basically took off. It's useful in some situations, but it's really misused in tourism industry, for example, but there are good examples of how you can use QR codes, for example, in restaurant menus if persons want to find out, for example, detailed information about where their food comes from, what it contains and how it's proceeded and so on. So there's good examples of that. Near-field communication technology is one of those things that's really now coming. There are small chips within these devices, mobile phones, smart watches, and such that enable mobile payments. Yeah, Jonna thinks that it will take a lot of time until you can trust machine translations, even if ever possible. It will be. It will be possible in quite near future. I don't think it takes many years anymore for it to be trusted. At least that I could trust it, but of course there will be problems. But there are also problems with regular human-to-human communication. So there are huge amount, especially when we are talking about when both of you are not communicating with your own language. There are huge possibilities for miscommunication, and this is the same with technology. Actually, the latest translation softwares are better in this kind of situations than human-to-human translations. So we are getting there quite fast. So yeah, near-field communication chips have a lot of possibilities for travel experience, but especially the payments are being done with based on this chip in the future. Then we have these other applications like WhatsApp that I've just shown you yesterday how much this private messaging is increasing in importance, that people are using these WhatsApps and Snapchats and Facebook messengers quite a lot compared to the old traditional media. So I'm really in the opinion that customer service should move and company contacts should be moving towards WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger and such platforms that makes it easy for tourists to contact you wherever they are. And also because they allow easy exchange of multimedia. So a person could, let's say you're a tourist in an unknown place and you want to know something that's close by, and you want to get advice from the hotel, for example. Your hotel could become your friend during a trip when you could send them a WhatsApp or call them with Skype or whatever. You would always have a friendly face in your mobile phone ready to serve you, which is a great possibility. And for example, Hotel Icon in Hong Kong, they are providing tourists that come to their hotel a smartphone with data connection. So all the rooms are equipped with modern smartphone that's equipped with a data package. So tourists can have whoever they are, wherever they come from, they will have a working mobile phone that they can use during their whole trip, which is quite cool, I think. Facebook Messenger is building business purposes for itself quite fast. Sophia says that translation programs are still quite far from understanding pragmatics and context in general. Yes, they are quite far, but they are developing. The speed of development is just impossible to understand. And IBM Watson, artificial intelligence, when we are talking about artificial intelligence, are quite good in. They can even detect sarcasm and such difficult concepts. So, but this is a good. So from social media, examine a good example of how companies can use Facebook Messenger for business. And Facebook gives this messenger code for businesses, so they can print these codes and people can read them with their mobile phones and immediately get a contact with a company representative when they read this code with their mobile phones. And of course, when we are talking about mobile devices, we have to talk about cloud. And this is definitely the direction where we are moving. So now we have still these huge mobile phones that have a lot of computing power in them, a lot of storage, a lot of everything. But in the future, it could be that this is basically just a screen, battery, and internet connection, and everything else, your computing power, your storage, everything is stored in a cloud, which is and not just a cloud. Cloud is a huge room full of servers, or many rooms, huge buildings full of servers that store information. But we are starting to talk about these kind of peer-to-peer services that basically all the information in the world would be divided in common cloud, which is stored in everybody's computer, and so on. So it's definitely a developing field, but cloud computing is something that you can store your information and everything to be accessed from all the devices, all the places. Any time you have access to internet, you can access your information that's stored in these cloud services, which is excellent if you think about that. You are in Thailand enjoying your beach vacation, and then comes a social media crisis that you need to post some material to your Facebook page or something like that. You can find, if everything is stored in the cloud, no matter what the device is, where you are, you can access the information and post it and share it and edit it and so on. So it's a fantastic opportunity and technology to have. And this is a huge thing for Europe. Roaming payments should end in June 2017. Now when we go abroad, it typically costs us decent amount of money if we want to use our mobile phone internet connection without Wi-Fi. The 4G connection in European countries, it's not really cheap. The prices have dropped in recent years, but it's still not that cheap. But in June 2017, roaming payment should end. We will see if that happens. I really hope that they do. That would basically mean that you could be online wherever you are in Europe when you are traveling, which would open up huge possibilities for mobile phone use in travel and tourism. You could have access to translation softwares anywhere. You could have access to maps. You could have access to Google anywhere. You could have social media services up and running all the time, which is excellent. I do hope that this happens. So that's it more for mobile phones. Companies need to have responsive website. That goes without saying. They have to use applications. There's a huge question of, should a company have an application for itself? There are not that many like groundbreaking tourism applications to have, but of course all these TripAdvisors, hotels.coms and such are focusing really much effort on their mobile applications, and they definitely see, just like the KLM, they definitely see that people are moving from websites into mobile applications, and that's definitely something to keep in mind. But still, mobile applications are, if you are doing a mobile application for your business, they are quite expensive to make. Thousands of euros typically, even a basic level application. So you really need to have a clear vision of why you are doing a mobile application and what is its business purpose. What new does it bring to you that for example, you can do with your website? But yeah, for travel and tourism, fantastic tools that businesses can and should use in creating memorable customer experiences, both for international and domestic tourists. And as you could see from the beginning, providing Wi-Fi is an excellent way to, providing free Wi-Fi is an excellent way to lure international tourists to your business. There's good discussion on translation programs. I will try to find a link to one of the news I just read if I can find it. But in any case, we are now having a break for 11:25. Okay, we are quite on time. So 15 minutes break. We are continuing 25 to 12 for this final session on e-business in practice, applied e-business sessions for 1 hour about search engine marketing and the rest of my framework. So see you soon.